What does it mean to be someone's POA? Hi, I'm Lynn, St. Louis estate planning and elder law attorney. A POA is a big job, or potentially a very big job. So what is a POA? That stands for power of attorney. And how do you become a POA? Well, somebody has named you in a document, a legal document that they signed and they filled out. It's called a durable power of attorney. That's the legal document. And in the durable power of attorney, they name someone to act on their behalf. And that's called a POA. Now, technically, the person really is the attorney in fact, but everybody just calls it a POA. So if you have been named as somebody's POA, you have a job to do. And you may or may not know what is that job. So let me help explain what that job could entail. If you've been named somebody's financial POA, you are supposed to manage their finances if they're not able to do so. Managing the finances means like making sure their bills are getting paid, or making sure their insurances are up to date on their house or their car. Think of everything that you do for yourself to make sure your financial affairs are in order. That's what you're doing for this person who has named you a POA. Now, hopefully they have talked to you about this and you are not just surprised out of the blue. Guess what? You are somebody's POA, that they've already talked to you, you've agreed to serve, and you feel like you're up to doing these duties because you have enough time and that you have a good sense of how to manage, somebody's businesses. And when I say business, I don't mean like their corporate business. I'm just saying the business of living. We know that there's a lot involved with, finances and making sure that medical bills are paid, all of those sorts of things. So your job will be made easier if you have talked to the person who has named you. But guess what? Sometimes they haven't. It comes as a surprise. Usually that's not on the financial end, that's on the healthcare end. That somebody has named you a POA for their medical decisions, for their personal decisions, and they just assumed you would be the person who would want to do that for them. And if they have provided their power of attorney document to their primary care physician or at the hospital, and you are named, then you are the person that the medical personnel are going to turn to say, what medical care should we provide to the principal, the person who filled out the document, when they are in a situation, for example, do they want to be intubated? Hopefully you've talked to them. Sometimes I call this the Thanksgiving conversation. Make sure that you talk to your friends, your loved ones about, well, what if you were in the hospital? And what if there needs to be a decision made about what the medical care could be? Do you want to be intubated? Maybe the answer is yes, but only for a short period of time. And if there's no hope, you would want that medical device to be removed. So you can see that there's so much involved with this whole area of what does a POA do. In terms of the legal responsibilities, you are held to a high fiduciary standard. You must act in their best interest, do as they would do, and do it to the best of your ability. That doesn't mean you can't make mistakes. Of course you make mistakes. We're human, we make mistakes. But having said that, this is an area where you should not be making mistakes. So if you don't feel like you're up to this task and you are nominated by somebody to serve as their POA, let them know, I'm not comfortable doing that. This is too much responsibility for me. All I can say is the best outcome would be that the person talked with you in advance so that you understand where their bank accounts are, who's their doctor, what their wishes are, all the things that go into serving as somebody's POA. Basically what you're doing, you're supposed to step into their shoes and carry out their wishes as they would do so. So it's far easier if you know all of this information in advance before you actually need to step up and serve. Now, when would you step up and serve? Well, if it's in the hospital situation, it's when either you get the call, or if you knew in advance you're the POA, you're probably at the hospital with that person as they're having their surgery or whatever the case may be. When it comes to finances, that's much more vague as to when you're going to step in and serve. If you've talked to the principal, the person who's appointed you, then you know that, well, your loved one, the principal, has been in an accident, or they're in, a coma, or they've, their dementia has progressed so much that they can't manage their affairs. How do you know this? Because you have involvement in their life, and they've talked with you, and you know, okay, they're not able to manage their affairs anymore. I need to step in. It's much more difficult if there's been no communication up front. And if that's the case, what I recommend that you do is reach out to an estate planning and elder law attorney and get advice. One of the things I want to let you know is that under POAs, the document itself, typically they provide that a POA is entitled to be paid for their services. And if they incur legal fees, if you as the POA incur legal fees for getting legal advice, usually the document will say that those legal fees aren't paid out of your own pocket, but they're going to be paid out of the funds of the principal, the person who has appointed you. So in this situation, if you don't know and you have a lot of questions, do seek legal advice.